ReWired from Wampler.
On the bench, we have Brent Mason Signature ReWired from Wampler. Into that, we have a Jackson Dinky Professional. The ReWired goes out to a Tonex, into Studio 192, and out to OBS. All right, on the bench, we have the ReWired pedal. And this is an Overdrive Distortion combination. Real quick, right side from the toggle switch over, that's your Overdrive pedal. From the toggle switch to the left, you've got your Distortion pedal. Distortion has level or volume, gain, fat, which kind of plumps up the sound, tone. To the right, it's brighter. To the left, it's a little darker. Same thing on the Overdrive. You have fat, which plumps the sound up. Tone, again, to the right, brightens up. Left, a little darker. You have level, which is basically your volume, and then you have a gain. The blend, what's unique about this is it mixes the signal coming into the Overdrive. Or actually, yeah, it mixes the signal. So if you want to, or the amount of effect you put on the signal, we'll start with a clean sound here. Let's see. I've got, this is not quite clean. It's a little kind of crunchy country sound, but you'll be able to hear the difference. Let me clean it up, see if I can find one here. Let's see, 28B. Let's try that one. Okay, that's cleaner. And we'll give it a little more volume here. All right, so now to demonstrate this blend, we're going to put the blend all the way to the right. So it should stay fairly clean. Of course, you got the fat and the tone, which is going to affect it a little bit, and the gain shouldn't affect it too much with the blend out. And it may just be that the level's boosting it up. Same sound, just louder with the Overdrive. Now, if we want to blend in the gain and the fat and the tone, the effects on that sound, we just dial it in from right to left. You can hear it in the background. We get up around 50%. Take it in a little more. And if we go all the way, of course it's the full signal. Everything's got the Overdrive on it. Okay, real quick, let's bring in the distortion. Let's hear it with just the distortion. Gives you a little bit of... And there's some noise on that. Let me see if I can knock the volume down, maybe get rid of that. Still there a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a lights could be the lights in the room, or it could be the pedal. Hopefully it's not the pedal. All right, I want to bring in the overdrive. Now, the toggle in the middle will, basically, if you're using one input and one output on the pedal, the far sides, then you're looping the two pedals together. The toggle in the middle allows you to reverse the loop. In other words, to the left, it's going into the overdrive pedal, through the distortion pedal, and back out. Now, if either one's not on, then it bypasses it, but it's still that direction. So if we flip this to the right, then the input comes through the distortion first, and then into the overdrive, and then out to the amp. Okay. So let's see what it sounds like with it's going in the overdrive first. So if we go down to the right here, and it is noisy. I'm not sure what's causing that. All right, now that is basically just the overdrive. I mean, just the distortion. It's got it's boosted a little bit. Now, if we bring this over to the left, it's going to boost half of it, half the distortion, and half of it. It'll be just as if we just had the distortion. A little more. All right, now you can hear. It's almost like having two guitars. You got one that's got a little more distortion on it than the other, and this allows us to adjust that. Of course, we get a lot of noise right here. I'm guessing that has something to do with the gain, or the lights could be involved too. All right, let's look at this in the opposite order real quick. We'll flip it over. Now the signal is coming into the distortion first. So actually, on the last demonstration, we were boosting half of the signal into the distortion, and half of it was clean into the distortion. So I'll recap that just in a minute. So now we've got it's going into the distortion, then into the overdrive, which means half of the signal, or whatever, at this point in the middle, half of the signal is just going to be like it would if we just had the distortion on. The other half is going to be the distortion sound boosted. So let's see what that does. And let's take it down to where we have a little less of the... Go to the left. It's boosted. A lot of harmonics there. Okay, so real quick, going back to the other. This most likely you're going to use this hitting the overdrive first, because that's going to send a boosted guitar signal to the distortion. And the other way, there might be times you can use it, but in moderation. I've got most everything here up around 50%. You might want to back off on that. So we're going to play through some different sounds, or different amps here, and see what this sounds like. The reason I like the pedal is basically for the overdrive with the blend. Because I like it where you can find that sweet spot. you can actually get a fuzz sound out of that. Now that's playing with a clean sound. Let's go up to something that's got a little more grit to it. Try. It's a little more reverb here. Let's turn this down before we kick it in. Bring it in light. Let's leave tone in the middle. We're on a humbucker, so we don't need that much fat added to it. Let's take the gain down just a little bit. And we'll take the volume, pull the volume back a little bit. Okay, and then pull this back just a little bit. That's a little bit overdrive right there. And if we brighten it up a little bit, you can spend days with this, and I'm going to show you some other sounds on the amp so you'll understand what you can do with it. The distortion on something like distortion's not bad. We can dial it back a little bit. Keep the tone, maybe brighten it up a little, fat down a little bit. And if we throw the and then we're back to Alright, let's pull in another sound here. We'll go down to the one we started with. This one has a little more crunch. Let's go to something else. That's a lot like the last one. Let's get something bluesy. Now these amp models here or whatever I've got on this Tonex, I didn't write these, and I do have a video coming out on the Tonex. I've got two of these. You can see one on the floor. One travels and the other stays here. But I don't spend the time tinkering with things anymore. I mean, if you're going to play, you're going to play. If you're going to tinker, it's like downloading a game on your phone. You are going to waste so much time doing something that you're never going to be happy with, because if you're like me, I'm never satisfied with the tone. So if I start tinkering with it, I never get to where I want to be. I'm better off just downloading somebody's tone, I can always adjust the reverb or delay or whatever's in it on this, but I don't have to spend the time dialing it in to start with. All right, let me get down here to, I got a blues patch. It's a dirty blues. Turn it up a little bit. Now this is why I like this ReWired pedal. There's nothing really unique about this blues sound. It's dry, but if I hit this button, I'm guessing it has something to do with that the fat on it or something. It just, and the blend, I can bring it down and soften it. And I can dial it up a little bit more and give a little more bite to it. So it gives it a little more bite. And you, like I said, you can tinker with the knobs here, get different sounds. Let's see what we got if we put a little more boost in it. There's usually a sweet spot you're going to find on this blend. It's right in there on this one to me. Tone, if we take it down, I'd rather leave the tone up and bring the fat up to widen it. And you can always push the gain up. That's a little too much. Now, if you throw distortion on top of this crunchy blues, it's actually similar to the boost. I mean, the overdrive. So you get some bite. If we throw both on it, maybe, that's what I was afraid of. And noise. It's got to be the pedal. So, Wampler, if you catch a view of this, you're gonna have to do something about that. It's like a little clock, and they're going. Whatever it is, it's at the top. As high as it'll go. It's overdriven beyond. All right, let's go down, and I've got some 80s amps on here. Let's see what this boost will do for those. I've got, now 90% of you are going to say, man, that's a lot of reverb. You didn't live in the 80s or grow up in the 80s. So I think reverb came out big time in mid to late 70s, and it just got thicker and thicker throughout the 80s. It was kind of like everybody wanted to play in a big stadium and to get that reverb, that real big sound. All right, now let's hear that with the. It lifts the tones out. If any of you have ever used a BBE Sonic Maximizer, I think they're pedals now. Back when I was younger, they had rack units. I've still got one here somewhere. I haven't used it in years, but it brings out the tonal qualities of acoustic guitar really a lot. And this pedal seems to do that for this here. It just brings some of the more of the tonal qualities out. And I can knock some reverb off of there if it's so that you can take it down. Still bring. Now, if we drop this back to where we're blending less of it. Got that noise again here. And it's not me scratching on the strings either. It's something in this pedal. I don't know how much of that's going to come across on the video. It's like a ticking sound. Hear it? That's just, I'm not sure what's causing that. Maybe the gain. Let's take it up to a different sound. And throw in the lifts the tone. So now let's check out the distortion. This is going to be a train wreck, I'm afraid. Actually, it's not too bad. There may be a noise gate on this this amp preset, may be causing some of the problems. Throw in the overdrive. That's some heavy. That's a lot of gain. Wow. Whatever that is, that's just too much. If I take this out. All right, it's got to be the gain, setting something off. Anyhow, that's going to do it for the ReWired Wampler, the pedal from Wampler. I like this pedal. I use this pedal. Basically use the overdrive most of the time. I don't have anything near this high. I'll dial it back quite a bit on everything. Sometimes less is more, especially when you're working with an overdrive, because you're going to get the sound you want on your amp, and you just want to boost it or brighten it a little bit with the overdrive. Now, the distortion side, on a clean sound, you can use this, kick it in. You don't need to switch down to a high gain amp. You can go from clean to distortion with that. As far as switching this back and forth here on the top, I would probably always go into the overdrive first. I don't know any reason you would want to send a signal into an overdrive to boost it unless it's volume. In that case, you're going to drop the gain. So anyhow, that is it for the Wampler pedal, and I will catch you all on the next video.